And we are back for another Wood League All-Stars. I'm pretty excited to see what these champions have for us today because it's looking pretty interesting so far. The most interesting I'd have to say is Adin here with his Clarity Teleport Kale. I'm also not sure if this Kale is going to be an AD carry, an AP carry. There's really no traditional ranged AD carry here for our red team. Over on the blue side, it's a little bit more traditional, except for potentially this Flash Clarity Caitlyn. The Clarity does mean that she can get out a few more spell casts, like the Piltover Peacemaker, maybe some harassment even with the Ace in the hole. However, it's not too typical. Jubwub is our Wood League All-Star that we're here to see, a friend of the stream, and a Bronze 4 resident. He opted to, he volunteered for us to cast his game. And remember, everyone, that Wood League All-Stars is not about who's good and who's bad. It's not about making fun of others. It's just about having fun and, you know, making jokes about mistakes that we all make that might be made a little bit more frequently here. We've all been to this point. We've all been learning and improving. And hopefully these players are willing to do the same, although a couple of them I might be a little skeptical about. It looks like everyone has joined the game so far, so we won't see any early disconnects. And it appears as though Kale will be running towards the mid lane, or the bottom lane. Alright, so it will be an AP Kale carry bottom with Malphite support. As I struggle to say that in any sort of comfortable way that doesn't completely degrade my dignity. A much more typical matchup here, Zed versus Yasuo. Yasuo has the potential to block out the Razor Shuriken, but I feel like Zed is pretty strong here in the 1 versus 1, unless Yasuo can really build up some nice crit and just continue in with the auto attacks. But everything about Zed just says, I'm going to deal a lot of damage to this single target, and there's not a lot Yasuo can do about it. In the bottom, Kale already taking quite a bit of damage from minions, trying to farm up as best he can. He has 2 last hits so far, so he's doing better than the Kale from episode 1 of our Bronze League's Heroes, who actually had me crying myself to sleep at night. Yasuo taking quite a bit of damage, has to pop his flash to escape from this Zed, but runs right back in to continue up his farm fest. 6 CS on this mid Yasuo, and taking yet another Razor Shuriken to the face. Lucky for him, he has a nice shield there to absorb quite a bit of that damage, and as long as he keeps running around in circles, it should be able to shield up quite a bit more in the future. He has started out with a Brawler's Glove, which I would not recommend since it doesn't really give you too much in terms of stats. It will give you an extra 20% crit. Is that 10? No, it'll give you an extra 16% crit, but a lot of damage coming over here onto Zed from the gank from Jubwub. However, Bendisol couldn't contribute too heavily to it, and so it will result in Thorx Nasty being able to escape with his life. Like I was saying, the Brawler's Glove gives you 16% crit, but that's not phenomenal. It definitely gives you some increased damage if you get a lot of auto attacks in, but early game, it's all about your spellcast trading. It's all about small duels, and it's a lot about jungler ganks as well, as we see Vi coming in, doing some nice damage. Going to wait in this bush for a while to see exactly how we can play this. Kale not having quite so good a time bot, especially with a Malphite support, who proves to be not too useful in terms of doing anything. He can throw out some slows with his tectonic plate roll thing, but aside from that, there's not a lot he can do until he gets his ultimate and can potentially initiate a fight in with his unstoppable force. However, depending on how fed he gets, it might be an incredibly stoppable force, since an underfed Malphite can be dismantled quite easily with a couple of abilities and auto attacks. Thorx Nasty now pressing up pretty aggressively as Bendisol continues to stick around on low health. It looks like the lane will start to go here in Zed's favor, which will really come to fruition at level 6. Once he goes back to buy an item, and then comes right back here, probably going to go for a Bilgewater Cutlass for his first item, and of course there's not a CS to justify a Bilgewater Cutlass, so maybe some boots and a Vampiric Scepter. Our Clarity Caitlyn, after using Clarity, is actually going to give themselves enough mana for Volibear to be able to jump in, take the first blood, and escape with his life, not even using his passive in there at all. So Kale, really struggling here, has already burnt that teleport coming back into lane. And that's going to look pretty bad. The gank up in the top lane as Envy comes in onto Hand Samurai, who's out of mana, but still looks to have enough health to survive this one. Dylan Daddy just doing his best to farm up here against the Pantheon, not having quite so good of a time. But Vi definitely helping out with that quite a bit. Thorx, Nasty, and Bendisal just continuing to trade blow for blow as these the ninja and the samurai see whose style is the best. Envy really really camping this top lane, just going to try and keep Dylan Daddy as safe as he can. I haven't seen too many return trips from Jubbawa, but with a nice fling in the bottom, Ricardo Mendoza going to fall incredibly low there. Adon has to be careful as well. Kaldrog throwing the heal will be able to keep his health up quite a bit, and Aidan will have to fall back. Kaldrog looking pretty strong with the sustain from both his passive and the heal summoner spell. And so not going to go down too easily. Thorx Nasty really falling low against Bendisal, but they're trading back and forth pretty effectively, so it'll really rely on a jungler gank. And it looks like Jubbawa has his eyes set on mid, but it's too late as they trade 1 for 1. Let's see exactly what mistakes were made, because I expect the number is quite high. Thorx Nasty staying along on such low health, but Bendisal going to move right in, grab a nice auto attack, run into the turret, as opposed to away from it, but either way, he was probably going to die from that last shot. Aiden having such a hard time here, doesn't have his teleport up for about another 2 minutes, and so we'll have to run back here, missing out on a lot of farm and a lot of levels as well. Just a level 4 Kale, only on 17 CS, definitely doing better than some others we've seen here on the series. However, having a pretty rough time up against this Caitlyn. Jubwub now moving in towards the top, doing a bit of counter jungling against this Vi. Still only on level 4, unfortunately, but might be able to find something against Dylan Daddy. One issue of ganking him is that he does have his remove Scurvy, which removes either the taunt or the Aegis of Zionia from Pantheon. Pantheon pushing up here into the turret might signal a turret dive. Jubwub going to spin as fast as he can, but not be able to go there, as Pantheon just continues to ignore the fact that there's anyone else in the game besides himself. Aiden in the bottom lane doing the best that an AP Kale bot lane with clarity and teleport can do, which is, you know, not very well. That's how well that they can do. Thorx, Nasty, and Bendisal continue to trade back and forth aggressively. Deathmark doing work on Bendisal's health, but Zed's still not looking too great himself. Bendisal really wants to be able to get in there with another knockup, but Thorx Nasty too good for that one. Fool me twice. Shame on both of us for being in Bronze 5. Oh, Thorx Nasty still able to get through that wind wall with his clone. I believe there was a time in the past where Zed's clone wasn't able to get through there, but I'm not entirely sure. Oh, X. L-O-O-L-X, Lux, Zulks. Able to escape barely off the end. The Cannon Barrage from Gangplank definitely did work there. Thorx Nasty escaping from the back, despite the man drop from Hand Samurai, really overcommitting for this kill in mid. Instead, Thorx Nasty was able to stay pretty safe. Aiden getting some alone time with the minions, catching up just a little bit in CS, and it looks like his build started going for a Nashor's Tooth and then took a hard detour once he picked up that Amplifying Tome, and I'm not really sure where his path is leading him, but I'm sure it's somewhere hilarious. Oh, throwing the clarity. Big clarity there, but the ace in the hole, or no, the Assault and Battery. Another name from another Piltover Enforcer. Zenvi to spoon away. Takes out the kill with help from Ricardo Mendoza, and actually a little bit of assistance from Aidan as well. But Ricardo Mendoza, no, what are you saying there, man? Jubwub moves in here. He's taking a lot of damage, but he throws in the defensive bar coil, and from the back, Zex is able to help him take out the two of them. Aidan now falling incredibly low, but he's going to be able to escape due to the sheer laziness from Caitlyn not pursuing that kill. The ace in the hole is up, Caitlyn. That you have an ability that will kill. Oh, it's okay. I can't dwell on it. I can't dwell on it. It'll only make me sadder. Thorx Nasty and Dylan Daddy going to double team this mid lane, because why not do it with a buddy if you're going to be doing it anyway? Bendisal doing his best to stay alive in this mid lane, having a pretty rough time. He's only about halfway there so far. Thorx Nasty, however, not landing that harass. That harass, though. First turret of the game going down, and a big teleport coming in bottom from Aidan. Has to immediately run away. And about as much coming out of that teleport as anyone would have expected besides the man himself. Oh, big reckoning slow landing there, as they then retreat even farther after the teleport. Dylan Downey could be in trouble here up against Jubba. Remember, he has the remove scurvy, and the taunt actually won't come out. He'll just be able to run away. Meanwhile, in the top lane, the chase of the Sentry, Hand Samurai slowed up, knocked aside, and looking to be in a pretty rough spot. A cannon barrage comes on top of him to slow him up, and with the death mark and all that damage, Hand Samurai is surely going down, going to explode there to the satisfaction of our Zed friend. Claiming another kill in the top lane, grabbing up a Brutalizer for a pretty solid early game. I respect that decision. Gangplank, however, detouring his Tiamat build for some crit, because if you can buy a Brawler's Glove, why not buy a Brawler's Glove? Yasuo, after picking up his Avarice Blade, going to get some lifesteal, which I can respect, and then go for his Static Shift, but the flash fling from Caldrog onto Ricardo Mendoza, who decides to just run right through the enemy team. That's going to mean Caldrog goes right in for the bite, and with an ace in the hole across, finally pressing that R button, Caitlyn will take yet another kill. Congratulations to using your abilities and pressing all your buttons. And that will be 3 additional kills here for our buddies in blue, with about 2,300 gold in the lead. They're looking pretty strong coming into the mid game. However, anything can happen in Wood League All-Stars. Dylan Daddy now trading directly onto Bendisai, but with an Ignite going down, Dylan Daddy looks to be pretty low on health. However, just by running back towards his turret, he's managed to elude the grasps here of the blue team. I'd really like to see Jubba, a friend of the stream, moving in just a little bit more aggressively, using that taunt to claim up some kills, but he does have a pretty good score so far, at least. Our Caitlyn not looking so hot here. Envy going to continue on with the slow and with an Assault and Battery, take it out. And it looks like the partner may have turned. Caldrog diving in a bit too hard, throws the heal. He has the passive, but the turret's going to take him out, with Thorax Nasty grabbing the kill, taking out another one. Dylan Daddy, this time on the Jubba. He does return with his Earthquake on under the turret, but after that, does immediately fall a double kill for Dylan Daddy. Tremors is the name of his ultimate. The more you know. There was actually a time when Rammus was strong, but it is not now. It was in the pre-season 4, before they not only nerfed the abilities that he might use, or I guess they nerfed kind of the meta and the items that he might use, and then they nerfed him directly, decreasing the duration of the taunt, among other things. They decided that 3 years was a little bit too much, and that 2 years was much more respectable for both him and Fiddle, and the likes of all of them. Vi going to catch on to her slippery little partner in the river, but let her run right by. Oh, finally notices it. The reaction timing just a couple seconds too slow. Bendisai trying to trade one-on-one with Thor Nasty will actually be able to flash out of there to safety. However, this trip might not look so healthy, with 3 members pushing down. Couple in the top lane, having a pretty rough time. Jubwub doing his best to move in there, and actually, along with his team, Hand Samurai will be able to take out a kill. However, in the mid lane, Envy Spinoy dives in there, finds a kill on the Yasuo. Caldrog comes in from behind. A Clarity was thrown there. And then everyone's backing off. However, Jubwub going to try and cut them off, runs into a minion, and won't be able to come in. Ace in the hole on the Thornaski, flashes away, because, oh my goodness, everyone's here, and I'm scared. I'm very scared. Thornaski now trying to defend up as best he can, but he's taking some major damage from the Piltover Peacemakers. I'm going to press the wrong button here as I shift to the wrong spot. A taunt down on the Envy Sminoy. Not going to be their best target as Jubwub looks incredibly low. Assault and Battery tries to take off Caitlyn. Caldrog comes back here into the enemy team, and he is actually standing up a storm. Thorax Nasty barely escapes off the side, and they do trade 1 for 1. Thorax Nasty looking lucky today. Bendisai trying to follow in there. Ricardo Mendoza taking a couple auto attacks to the face, but he should be able to survive today. Hand Samurai dropping in from behind, takes out the kill. I wasn't expecting that any more than he was. Jubwub, however, takes one too many auto attacks. Malphite goes down immediately after 2 to Bendisai, and Hand Samurai coming in from behind is going to be able to grab up yet another kill. Bendisai continuing to move on to Dylan Daddy, and that's so much damage. Last breath coming in, and that will claim the kill. Caitlyn grabbing the last hit there, and that is a 4 for 1 exchange. Congratulations here to the blue team, who seem to be winning this one by default. Aden tries to come across. He does a mass amount of damage to bend aside, but because he has less focus than my computer from 2004 camera. Ah, I messed up the joke. I was going to say my camera from 2004 and it would have been funny, but instead I said computer and then it wasn't funny anymore. Dang it. Well, he didn't get the kill there, so ha! So hi, then. The builds are actually looking pretty respectable. I would love to make fun of them a little bit more. And, taking a look at everyone, you know, I can't. I can't. Everyone's making pretty good decisions about what items they should buy. Caitlyn going for the Cloak of Agility before any other attack damage. Not a single attack damage on Caitlyn besides the attack damage item on Caitlyn. Besides the 10 from a Doran's Blade and the 10 from a Vampiric Scepter. I do not agree with that since Caitlyn's early base stats are so powerful on her auto attacks, on her Piltover Peacemaker, as well as on her Ace in the Hole, and they scale incredibly well with attack damage. However, right now it seems like it's doing well for her. Jubwub going to try and ball himself into this enemy team. Thork's Nasty caught up but not taunted. Going to escape off the side here. Still taking quite a bit of damage. Envy falling low as well, having to back off. The taunt landing onto Dylan Daddy. He falls low here in the middle of the enemy team, and he's going to be the first to fall to Caldrog here, who is a support on fire. Ricardo Mendoza going to be the third casualty of the fight. In the bottom lane, Adan was able to take out the turret, but Hand Samurai flashing in for the kill, not able to find anything except an awkward photo. Adan now teleporting in here. Probably not going to be in the best situation. Can't even press R on himself and does fall there in the 1 versus 4. And not the best situation. I apologize for your misfortune, Adan. Oh, Envy gonna jump in here with the Cannon Barrage on top. This might be the womboest of the combos. Caldrog with his passive sustaining up quite a bit, and Hand Samurai jumping back in for the stun is going to mean an endless amount of CC chaining for that Piltover Enforcer. Thork's Nasty looking to potentially come back in, but then backing off. Jubwub spinning out of this one. Looks to be alive. Dylan Daddy not having a lot of health. With a Grand Skyfall almost immediately on the spot he was standing. He will drop in from behind, but our blue team looks to be pretty low. Jubwub almost falling in the back. They did lose Caitlyn. Hand Samurai now dueling onto Thork's Nasty, but Caldrog coming in from behind will help him find the kill. Caldrog tries to fling Ricardo Mendoza, but he's not close enough to get Jubwub, and it looks like he will spin away to safety. Adan trying to chase on the Caldrog. Is he going to be able to get a kill all by himself? The Reckoning grabs it, and Adan, by golly, you've done it. Bendisai, solo pushing in the bot lane, was able to grab an inner turret for himself. That's 5-1 in the turret count and 7,000 gold in the lead. For our blue brothers, Hand Samurai, Adan is unstoppable. 2 kills finally with his double Blasting Wand build. He's going for a Nashor's Tooth eventually. He's not building towards a Nashor's Tooth. He's not rushing a Nashor's. No, by all means. But like, he is creating the opportunity to one day purchase a Nashor's Tooth if he so feels like it. However, the double Blasting Wand, a much bigger priority for Adan. However, Adan's having a really hard time taking this red buff. He heals himself, and that should be enough to not die to the neutral buff. No one wants to pull a broken shard, even here in Wood League. Adan, what are you doing? Oh man, if Caitlyn so much as spots him, that will be a kill. But Caitlyn, a typical Wood League player, not going to be spotting anything except the kills as Thork's Nasty reigns in one on the Bendisal. Hand Samurai takes one in return though. Jubwub doing his best to escape off the side. Actually rolls back in for the knockup, and they do find yet another kill in the Vi. Jubwub is so quick, and Ricardo Mendoza not able to keep up. Flashes in, tries to get the auto attacks, but Jubwub is still alive. He's spinning away as best he can. Ricardo Mendoza not able to keep up, and with Hand Samurai jumping on him from behind, that will be yet another kill here for our blue team. Jubwub barely escaping off the end. Now Caitlyn and Adan trading back and forth, but Adan steps right onto the trap that was just put, not sidestepping at all, and Adan will have to back off of this one. as the dragon goes down. I think that was the second time this game, but I don't know, that would be pretty surprising. 2 dragons in 20 minutes. I don't know. Maybe our Wood League All-Stars have some surprises for us yet. Jabuweb playing really consistently. He falls so low, and I think, oh god, Jabuweb, you've done it again. But then he survives on just no health. He's picked up a Sunfire Cape, a Spirit of the Ancient Golem, and now is going for potentially a Banshee's Veil, which I wholeheartedly stand behind. Caitlyn finally grabbing a point of attack damage with the BF Sword, going for an Infinity Edge. However, with the detour for the Static Shiv and the Vampiric Scepter before, it's really taking too long to get up to that item. That is why I disagree, because the damage you get from a Static Shiv is nowhere near what you could get from rushing an Infinity Edge or a Bloodthirster. Benistal able to solo down a kill onto Zed and stays up top on pretty low health. Has to be really careful about Vi coming up from behind. The Tornado going to hit no one. The unseen dead enemy proves to be the one that's actually there, as opposed to the unseen enemy that you could have seen were it there. There was no one there, Zed. That's what I'm trying to say. Dylan Daddy moving up from behind, but oh goodness, you cannot take on those 3 members. Aiden decides to take his turn in the ring. However, he doesn't have any more luck than his ally Ace in the hole not connect. Instead, Ricardo Mendoza tanks it up for his team, and with a solid 3-man Vault Breaker, they'll look to turn it around. However, they just don't have the follow-up, since Aiden playing safely in the back after everyone stopped attacking him. Jabuweb falls low to the Razor Shuriken, but I don't think anything's going to take him out today. Not if he keeps playing like he has. Balls to the walls until, not even close, baby. Oh, the jump in, but Aiden not able to survive through the initial burst. Thorx Nasty going down after is going to be a 2-for-1 up in the top. And it looks like we have a few members of our blue team looking to continue pushing this top inner turret. It's falling so low, and they're eventually going to find it. Caitlyn, with a couple more auto attacks, will be able to claim that up for the team. Jabuweb stealing it away with that last hit. And now 6 turrets to 1. This advantage is getting larger and larger and larger. 22 minutes, 40 seconds into this game with a 12,000 gold deficit. You can see the items starting to pile up. A Ravenous Hydra up top and a Last Whisper against what's only a Tiamat and part of a Static Shiv. Now Envy Dispanoi in a rough spot. Cannon Barrage comes on top of them, but that's just going to highlight the carnage of that Vi getting torn to shreds. Yasuo pushing in the mid lane and the bottom lane, just darting back and forth, being as annoying as Yasuo's tend to be. And with just a few swings of his sword, will be right out of there after split pushing yet another lane. Malphite doing his very darn bestest to keep this top lane safe. Now, I'm impressed that he's gone for a defensive build and not something like, you know, the Frosted Fisticuffs or a Trinity Force for tons of damage. He's actually stayed within the realms of what an actual player should do. However, he might not need too much after finding out a juicy Volibear like that. Bendicide barely surviving off the end of that death mark. Dylan Daddy looks so low. Ricardo Mendoza not able to find the kill with his Q. Hand Samurai jumps on with no health, is forced to flash out of that one. Envy turns around, and with a couple of auto attacks, they'll be able to find the kill. And our blue team is so broken up here. Oh, let's see it. Oh, guys, I thought of a joke that's only relevant today. The team was so broken up, it's like they were cognitive. Jabuweb getting away, as Jabuwebs tend to do, and he's still looking pretty healthy. 3, 2, and 18. This Rammus is on fire, literally, because he has a Sunfire Cape on him. Thor's Nasty, Aiden, and Ricardo Mendoza just doing their best to push in that middle lane, but we have a big bear here and a small armadillo there to save it. The sounds of these clarities back and forth just throw me off. I'm like, what's going on? Oh, it's just mana. It's just mana. So, 25 minutes in, Aiden still not within Nashor's Tooth. The double blasting one build looks to be remarkable. And, yep, that Aiden has 2,400 gold. So it's been a while since Aiden has thought about purchasing an item. Instead, really needs the red buff. And then stick around with no health. with the red buff. It's a really, really good way to give the enemy team your buff. Thork's nasty, taking massive damage in the middle, and Aidan goes right into the enemy team to say, hey, remember when I took this? Well, here you go. Caitlyn snatches it away with a solid crit from her static shift, and that is a double kill here for the blue team. 2 down means that they can split push all of these lanes and hopefully eventually take one down. No amount of coordination will overcome the sheer, meh, fuck it, let's give it a shot strategy that we'll see basically from both teams here. OC, they're splitting up. They're changing their attention between mid and top and bot, and oh, unstoppable force. Not going to be stopped by anything there. Ricardo Mendoza looks actually rather tanky here. And our Caitlyn having a pretty rough time up against that Vi. However, in the middle of a minion wave, taunted up, Jabuab looks to take him out. Vaultbreaker over the wall, going to aggro those rays, and with a big bear coming over the side, he's going to say, well, I don't think so. He gave her the belief, and with a bite in midair. And it'll be Dylan Daddy flashing away with the intervention on top of it. Now Aiden, without an intervention for himself, is going to fall down rather quickly here to this incredibly strong team. Bendisai joining up with his team is going to be able to take down Thork's Nasty before actually falling himself to the death mark. Dylan Daddy rubbing out the kill by the turret. Dylan Daddy taunted up. Going to be in a pretty rough spot. Ricardo Mendoza continues to tank up a lot, but also not do very much himself. Dylan Daddy with another taunt. Has to be careful here about Caldrog. However, Jubba will go down for his only 3rd death of the game. Mandrop comes over the wall. Ricardo Mendoza has to be careful, but I don't think he's getting out of this one. Hand Samurai with massive damage. A Last Whisper and a Ravenous Hydra finally grabs out the kill. Kale still doesn't have a damn Nashor's Tooth. The Rabadon's Death Cap took preference over that item. And to be honest, with this Blasting one and the Amplifying Tome, I expect Kale to go for a Lichbane before she goes for a Nashor's Tooth, because screw you, Disciple Caldrog. No, man, I believe in you. I believed, but the Assault and Battery, a little bit stronger here than belief. She will be able to continue on over that well-placed trap and slay the Frozen Beast. Oh, a slow coming out from the Cannon Barrage. Jubwub will lose his Banshee's Veil. Aidan throws the intervention on himself for the ace in the hole. Jubwub tries to continue on here. Not a lot of follow-up from his team, but still a solid taunt on the Aidan. Hand Samurai comes in to take all the glory, the guts as well, spilling on the floor, everyone falling. Hand Samurai not going to survive that death mark. However, Thork's Nasty gets himself caught up in a pretty rough spot. Now with Envy coming back in, that is going to be a massacre. Jubwub tries to finish off Dylan Daddy, but he has to be careful. Now rolling away from Envy Dispanoy, who connects on with a Vaultbreaker that does stop Jubwub in his tracks. Dylan Daddy is so low, he has to be cautious about Jubwub. Oh, unstoppable force over the wall, and Jubwub going to fall to the excessive force. And it proves that when excessive force and unstoppable force combine force, magical things happen. Bendisai with the crits, claiming out a kill on Vi. However, Dylan's Daddy was able to get out of there safely. Now, without a Last Whisper, then someone like Ricardo Mendoza really going to be too powerful to take down a heavily attack damage centered team on the blue side. We should really see maybe something like a Black Cleaver. However, Pantheon has yet to build one out of his Brutalizer, and I don't expect Yasuo is going to get one anytime soon. That would really help the team here to be able to shred large percentages of the enemy armor with the Heartseeker Strike, or the other damage that that these team members are throwing out. Only one Last Whisper on our blue team. Now Hand Samurai coming in for the back door of the inhibitor that's already dead, and he's actually are his eyes on the Nexus? Or is he looking? I don't know. They're looking at the Nexus. They're making plays for the Nexus now. Kale is just pushing up in the top lane, and it looks like our teammates will be able to defend this. So Kale finding a bit of extra gold there for themselves, going to bring them up within 13,000, but it's still quite a differential that blue team will be happy to claim. Kale continuing to move in the top lane, continuing to not buy a Nashor's Tooth, and doing her own thing. Has the teleport available in about 30 seconds, so we'll be able to join up the team soon. However, right now, he should have an eye on the on his opponents, who are currently dropping down on his head. He takes out the turret beforehand, though. Hand Samurai deals massive damage. Intervention comes down on the Kale, but he is flung right back into the hands of Hand Samurai, who will take out a very solid kill. Now Thorx Nasty having a really rough time dealing damage onto Jubweb of any sort despite his last Whisper. Jubweb spinning in here. Thorx Nasty tries to throw down a bit more damage. However, he is taking some massive deeps from this Armadillo. Jubweb could have gotten himself caught up in a bad spot. He took a long time to take out Thorx Nasty. Ace, and the hole comes from the wall. And Caitlyn able to grab the kill. Jubweb, no! Ricardo Mendoza throws the Q over the wall, and Jubweb not able to escape from that one alive. Kaldrog comes in to tank it up. Unstoppable Force over the wall leaves Caitlyn in a pretty risky spot. Envy tries to flash over, but Caitlyn answers with a flash of her own. Kaldrog continues in on to Gangplank. He's so close, but Gangplank is a speedy mother. Ricardo Mendoza flashing over the wall. It's going to mean several escapes here for the red team. Pantheon not going to drop down and cut them off. And so, no more kills here. Now remember, this game looked like it was won back at 23 minutes. Now at 31 minutes, we're no closer to seeing the game won. Intervention there on to Malphite as directive camera decides, I need to look at the fountain, but look at all this beautiful carnage going on just around the inhibitor. Hand Samurai focusing on the inhibitor until he sees a juicy, delicious Aiden who just uses intervention. However, it still won't be enough to take the focus here of the blue team. Caitlyn with massive damage taken from Thorx Nasty, going to give up what becomes a double kill. Now Bendisai moving into the 1 versus 4, going to grab a single kill, turn around and potentially take out Thorx Nasty in return. The Ignite is down. Thorx Nasty is so low, but he survives off the side. Jubweb comes in because he might as well join the fight, and Dylan Zaddy takes so much damage. However, with the flash away, he looks like he might survive. Envy Disponoy not going to be so lucky. Jubweb moves in after, throws down the taunt, and Envy, no! No! Jubweb not able to get the kill. I honestly think he just stopped there to cry for a minute. Jubweb just stopped there to cry. Oh, Jubweb. 26 assists on this jungle Rammus. A lot more than anyone else in the game has. His support is 15. Unstoppable Force on Jubweb, and he might have been out a little bit too far of his comfort zone. Dylan Daddy finds the kill there, and Kaldrog looks to escape. Doesn't want to be the second casualty here, but it looks like they don't quite have the resources to take him down. However, red team doing their best to make a resurgence in this game. Thorx Nasty getting rather strong, nastily strong, even as he switches over to his clone, but doesn't opt to go in on Caitlyn since his death mark was actually fully available. Asenol comes across, pops the Guardian Angel, and his team says, "See you later, sucker," as they take out Thorx Nasty rather quickly, and that Guardian Angel appeared to be a bit of a waste since it didn't help them at all. Now blue team comes back in this game because why not? There's no reason why they should have won any of those fights, but they do by the sheer fact of because. Aiden caught up again because, and with the man job coming up on the other side, I don't think Aiden's going to be able to survive this one. Intervention is down, and he will fall without much of a count at all. Envy just going to try and play a little game of cat and mouse. However, Caitlin's a little bit too smart for that game. He says, "Come on, guys, let's take the objectives." And everyone else says, what's an objective? Ricardo Mendoza almost with the Unstoppable Force should be able to come in pretty soon. However, the rest of his team is being quickly dismantled outside of the base. Envy Disponoy, caught out in a pretty rough spot, is going to actually leave the base wide open here for several members to take down Thorx Nasty with a lot of damage, and his Guardian Angel won't save him now since it's on cooldown. That's a double kill here for Bendisel, and that looks like it'll finally be the kill for our blue team and for our friend Jubweb. Ricardo Mendoza tanky enough to survive, but not able to deal anything with the Nexus quickly. I was going to say slowly, but that went pretty fast. The game will end. Congratulations to Bendisal, XLOOLX, Hand Samurai, Jubweb, and Kaldrog for your great victory. And congratulations to Aiden for playing and for finally buying a Nashor's Tooth at the end of that game.